helicopter 7 times as the officers on board carried out COVID-19 compliance checks during the state's 3-day lockdown in November. The illegal laser was in the hands of 49-year-old Mark Andrew Golker.
He's been trying to find a dog ever since. He's really sorry.
Golker is a former boilermaker who'd lost his job and hurt his back. The district court heard he'd been drinking and taking prescribed painkillers at the time of his ending.
So he's incredibly sorry. He just wants to get on with his life now. There won't be any repetition.
Chief Judge Michael Evans took that into consideration when handing down a 15-month prison sentence, which he then suspended. He told Golker that shining such a powerful laser could have had catastrophic consequences. If the beam had gone directly into the pilot's eyes, the immediate safety of the aircraft and its occupants would have been compromised. Golker signed a 2-year good behaviour bond and will be under the supervision of a community corrections officer for 18 months. He'll also be required to carry out 80 hours of community consideration. Sarah Mullins, ABC News, prison sentence, which he
That's what life is.
Former ultra-orthodox school principal who was accused of fleeing the country after being charged with child sex offences has faced her alleged victims back in Australia for the first time. Marka Leifer appeared in the Melbourne Magistrates Court today, where she's fighting sexual assault allegations in the hopes of avoiding a trial.
Head bowed and gloved in prison blue, Marka Leifer was today beamed into the Melbourne Magistrates Court from jail. The former ultra-orthodox school principal spoke sparingly, saying yes to confirm she could hear the proceedings. Across town, her alleged victims readied themselves ahead of a grueling week-long hearing. Marka Leifer is facing 74 child sex abuse charges dating back as far as 2004, when she was the head of the Adass Israel School in Elsternwick. Prosecutors are trying to convince a magistrate that there's enough evidence for a trial. In cases like these, witnesses are sometimes separated by a screen, but the 55-year-old's alleged victims, sisters Darcy Ehrlich, Nicole Meyer and Ellie Sapper, are unable to give evidence they're accusing. The former principal was charged in 2012, but according to court documents released today, police accuse her of fleeing to Israel when she learned about the allegations. It took years for investigators to extradite her back to Melbourne. The hearing's meant to last until next week, but on Thursday, Marka Leifer won't be there. She's been excused because it's Yom Kippur, one of the holiest days on the Jewish calendar. ABC News, Melbourne.
A new report has found that 1 in 5 jobs have been lost in higher education, which is more than any other sector outside agriculture. The federal government has refused a bailout, saying universities have received substantial support and many are operating in surplus. Connor Duffy reports.
Fucking no, kind of day today.
Monash University will keep an ultimatum. One of them had to volunteer to go, or there'd be a coin toss over who could stay.
It's really frustrating to get a job that you really love and you're really, passionate about, and then be told overnight, totally out of the blue, that you no longer have a job.
Ms. Clark was spared after her friend decided to leave, but after 6 years of precarious employment, she's prepared to risk her job to condemn what happened.
The reason I have a job is because one of the other tutors that I teach quite closely with does it, which also makes me feel incredibly guilty.
Monash University says it's working to improve job security. However, a new report paints a grim picture for higher education. The Centre for Future Work used ABS data to show the sector lost almost 40,000 jobs in the year to May 2021, an estimated 35,000 at public universities.
Losses this year in the tertiary sector have been worse than any other non-agricultural sector in the economy.
The report found that job losses could be remedied with a $3.75 billion rescue package. The Education Minister Alan Tudge told the ABC the sector had already received significant support and that 25 of Australia's 39 public universities entered the year with a surplus. Unions believe extra government money is needed, but are also urging universities not to make more cuts.
We really need vice chancellors and university management to step up.
With the return of international students still a long way off, university leaders fear there could be worse to come. Connor Duffy, ABC News.
Well, mate, yeah.
Veteran Labor MP Joel Fitzgibbon will quit politics at the next federal election after more than a quarter of a century in federal parliament. The Labor MP quit Labor's frontbench last year, saying the party's policies on climate and energy are alienating Labor's traditional blue-collar base. Mr Fitzgibbon says he can leave politics confident that he has helped the ALP and his federal leader Anthony Albanese shift towards the centre ground.
He has demonstrated strong support for the resources sector, including the mining, coal mining and gas sectors. He's been to a coal mine and of course has taken a sensible and more moderate approach to change.
Mr Fitzgibbon has represented the coal mining electorate of Hunter in New South Wales since 1996. North Korea's neighbours say they're concerned about reports the rogue state has...
That's YouTube Live, yeah?
missiles, which could eventually be equipped.
Yeah, you want to stream YouTube Live.
Defence Minister Peter Dutton
I just want to
and Foreign Minister
do a project or something.
in South Korea as part of a four-country tour.
Well, I can't think straight now, should I?
Counterparts in Seoul on
So
regional
what I want
security
to do is
issues,
go fire
which
up
also
the
include
new
the South
news.
China Sea.
This is to go too quick to do anything. There's a like a project or something like that.
South Korea says it's investigating claims from the north that the cruise missiles hit ocean targets 1,500 kilometres away. Australians might soon be able to manage an international Christmas getaway. Fiji has announced plans to welcome tourists from November following its successful vaccine rollout. Australian airlines have already started advertising flights in anticipation, but it will all depend on whether Australia opens its borders in time. Priyanka Srinivasan reports.
Stretches of empty coastline are a stark reminder of the pandemic's impact on Fiji. The tourist hotspot has been closed to visitors for the last year and a half, but that's about to change.
We just can't wait to see tourists back here again.
Fiji is still in the midst of a devastating COVID-19 outbreak. At its peak in July, the Pacific nation had the highest infection rate per capita in the world. But the government now expects more than 80% of eligible adults will be vaccinated by November, and international tourists will be welcomed back.
I think we're being as prudent and careful as we
That's what the video's captured upstairs.
At the same time, I think everybody
Right, that's the screen, yeah.
back up and running and again.
Details are yet to be ironed out, and only fully vaccinated individuals will allow in. COVID-19 testing will also be in place. Qantas is already advertising December flights, anticipating Australia will also open its borders by then.
There's no way I could be in the screen, is there? Nah.
But Fiji hasn't conquered COVID.
The back of me there. There was
14,000 active
well, we got one there, support me across 007.
100 still at hospital. That has some worried it's too early to reopen.
Certainly too soon, unless our children are vaccinated and unless we know more about it.
Artists have the chance to work
Right,
with
yeah.
mentors in preparation for the main event.
Just amazing to be able to fly down and have this opportunity, be surrounded by like amazing women who just giving roles in the music industry.
Bringing with them the stories closest to their hearts.
It's running on now.